Welcome you all in this educational video. Today we are going to do lesson number 17. The lesson name is Financial Management. This is the second part of the video. Financial Management. I will explain you the meaning. What are the objectives of financial management? There are various features. You will be understanding all these. The first feature is about the profit. You can say maximum profit. In any work, for example, sale or any kind of work, when you have profit, that is known as maximum profit. Continuous availability. The third important feature is effective and timely use of funds for your benefits. The fourth feature is safety of funds. When you have fund for your work, then the safety of fund is also an important objective. Let us now understand financial decisions. What do you think by this word? There are various kinds of work in which we need to take some decision and do analytical thinking about the work. I will explain you through more examples further. Financial management can be categorized into three types of decision that can be seen on the screen in three main types. The first one is financing decision. In case someone has given loan or any amount of money, I am thinking about work, loan or some investment amount. So, the decision about the investment, money or any related thing, that is known as financing decision. Second is the investment decision. Let me explain you this. For example, if there is any good place and there is another good place, there is another one which is good place, and all are having good profit. So, when I have to think about a good decision for the investment, that is investment decision. The third one is about the dividend decision. Like when we have to share our profit, how much money we should divide among ourselves. I will give you an example to understand this. For example, I am running a business and having a good profit, and people are working with this enterprise or work, and if I am the owner of the company or the enterprise and I am distributing the profit among the different people who are working, that is dividend decision. Financial planning. What do you think about this word? When we have to pre-plan about our work or business or enterprise, anything, I will show you further, you can understand in a better way. Objectives of financial planning. So, there are mainly 5 objectives, the first, second, third, fourth and 5. In the middle, you can see wealth. Some people have a really good amount of property, or you can say wealthy people. So, wealth maximization is a word which can be given people who have very good amount of profit. That profit can come through by the sale of any property or through anything. The second is if I don't have enough of profit, then it would be difficult for me to continue my work. So, money is the basic requirement which you should have for your work. The third one is proper utilization of fund. So, it should not be like that you are just spending anything without even giving a proper thought. So, the fund should be utilized in a proper way to maximize your profit and to minimize your loss. The fourth one is like you all are really committed to the work, and owner is also giving good salary. The financial commitments the owner is looking after, that is meeting of financial commitments. Now, let us understand the essentials of a good financial plan. The first important essential is to have a simple plan. Let us understand it with the example. When we just begin any work, we do the proper analysis and plan. The second essential is to have a long term view about the future profits and the responsibilities the companies would be able to handle. The third one is about flexible plans. In case you have sudden more work, in that case also the company or enterprise is able to handle it in appropriate way. So, that is also an essential of a good financial plan. So, this is important. Now, let us add further more essentials. The best use of funds, that is also one of the most essential of a good financial plan. The fifth important point is when you have a good fund and you are spending the money on different things, different resources, the cost should be taken care of while spending money. So, that can be termed as low cost of raising funds. Sixth important point is when you have enough of funds, then you must ensure the enough liquidity, that you have sufficient funds or sufficient amount of financial requirements. Now, let us understand the types of capital requirement. Fixed capital, let us understand this. For example, there is another person and I have taken some amount of money, as you can say the person has invested amount of money in my work. Now, the person wants the money back and it is really difficult for me to return the money because that is fixed capital, because the amount has been invested and only after some particular time period it can be returned. For a particular time it cannot be returned, so that is fixed capital. Now, let us understand the factors affecting fixed capital requirement. The first important factor is the business nature. There are different kinds of work. Sometimes the work is small and sometimes the work is really a time-taking work or different kind of work. So, different business, there are different kind of capital requirement. The another type of factor which affects the capital requirement is types of products. When the products are really big, then the investment amount is also big accordingly. And if the product is small, then similarly the investment amount or capital amount is also in the similar ratio. The third important factor which affects capital requirement is the size of the business, a big business, a small business, or just a medium business. Accordingly, the capital would be required. But if the business is really big, then you need to arrange the enough capital for your business. The fourth is process of production. To continue your work and the production work, you must have a fixed capital for your long-term vision and long-term productivity. The fifth important factor is fixed assets buying method. Let's understand it in two ways. It's a kind of one-time investment. If you have, you should have enough of capital, and in case if it's not a one-time investment or a one big investment, then there are small investments like EMI or little payment at many time. Working capital. Working capital has factors which we will be discussing now. Now, let's understand the factors affecting working capital requirements. You can see them on the screen. The first one is like business nature. If the work is small, then you need not have a good amount of capital. But if work is really big, then there is a need of capital amount of money. So, according to the need, we need the capital. The second important factor which affects working capital requirement is the business size, or it can be considered as or named as size of business. The third important factor says about production cycle, or you can say when we consider it in terms of time, we call it time length, then it affects the capital requirement as well. If the productivity or the processing time is low, then definitely we need more capital. The fourth point explains about the turnover rate. Inventory turnover rate. Fifth point says, for example, there is any selling business. Let's take it as I have my selling business, and today when I am receiving money, and today I don't need that money actually. So, I have kept it for future use, and someone can be given loan. I can give loan to other people in case of need. So, I have not kept it for my personal use. That is known as credit policy. or you can say it as loan policy. So it's not necessary to spend all the money just at the same time. The sixth point explains, as I earlier explained about the cycle. So similarly, it's a kind of seasonal fluctuations. Like we have season, it comes at a particular time in a year. In a year, in summer season, we wear summer clothes. In winter season, we wear cold or warm clothes. So accordingly, just after a particular time, let's take example of 4 months or 6 months, so it comes again. So it's a kind of, it comes again after a particular time. We call it as seasonal fluctuation. In winter, summer, rainy season, the sale is not same, it is fluctuating. Capital structure. Capital structure also has some factors. The first factor says about the expected earnings. If we don't have enough of money, then we can take loan. The second point explains the cost of debit. Like there is some addition of interest in the capital amount. And the third factor explains about the right to manage business. Like this right does not mean it's correct or incorrect. This right means it's your right. This is the sign. We call this right. So managing business, when you are talking about the right, when just for example you have set up an enterprise or a company or NGO, anything, you are investing some amount of money and you also thought of taking loan, and then you said, no, I don't want to start my own work. And if there are some people ready to invest amount of money with your business, then you can say it as a, consider it as a right to manage business. Fourth point explains, if in the market good profit is there, then we can take loan. And if we see that the profit is low and there is no profit, then we won't be able to take loan because we won't be able to return the money. The fifth point explains about the norms and the rules. There are some rules which needs to be followed. The sixth factor explains about the flexibility. Seventh factor is about the investor's attitude. There are different people who invest money in different work. According to the investor's attitude, we get the benefit. Dividend. Let us now understand, when an enterprise or company is formed, a dividend is the distribution of the company's earning to a class of its all shareholders as determined by the company's leaders and all board of directors. Common shareholders of dividend paying companies are eligible as long as they own the stock before the ex-dividend time period. So, dividend should be paid out as cash or in the form of some additional stock. Dividend refers to a reward or cash or otherwise that a company gives to its shareholders. This dividend can be given in various forms such as cash payment or in the form of tax or stocks or any other form for the benefit of all the people working there. So, dividend is usually a part of the profit that the company shares with its shareholders. Let's now understand about the factors affecting dividend decisions. So, there are few features we would be discussing. The first is about the need of the finance. We call it as financial needs. According to the need of the people involved. The second important feature is about the liquidity needs. In case we need some cash amount of money for our work, if we have enough of cash, then it's okay, we can spend the money. But if we have less cash, then we need to keep it, preserve it for future use. Access to capital market. When one is having a good profit in future, then the person can think of taking loan. Shareholders' expectation. If I am a person and if there is another person who wants to have a share in the profit, or sometime later the person would be thinking of returning my money, and I said, okay, you can take money and you can return it now or sometime later with some additional interest. The fifth point explains about the tax policies. Sometimes there are rules like 10% or 15%, like you have to return the money with additional percentage. And also there are some tax rules. If the percentage is less, then we can definitely return the same amount. Sixth point explains about the growth aim. If we have the goal of having good growth, then we cannot take loan and return. So, the aim is important. The seventh point says about the law and rules. Sometimes there are some rules which says not allowed. In that case, we need to follow the rules because law is important and that needs to be followed. law should not be broken. So that is considered as legal constraint. I hope you all understood this well. This was part 2 of this lesson. You can check your knowledge by finding answers of the question from this lesson. Thank you.